President Trump just endorsed his own impeachment publicly, accidentally, and in front of millions. No, this is not satire, and no, you're not dreaming. This all actually happened. This is a real post from the Commander-in-Chief's own social media account. Now, this is trending because it's not just a political gaffe. This is a moment where the president publicly approves a message saying he should be removed from office. That has never happened before, ever, in the history of the presidency. Welcome to Why It's Trending Daily, where I break down the stories that everyone's suddenly Googling, and I explain to you why they matter. So here's what happened. And buckle in because it's even dumber than you think. Late last night, Donald Trump shared a screenshot from an account literally called Impeach Trump a Third Time. Not Trump True Fan, not MAGA Patriot 2026, not We Love Trump Official. No, Impeach Trump a Third Time. The profile banner is burning MAGA hats. The bio is Blue Wave 2026. It's an account explicitly dedicated to removing him from office, and he blasts it out to millions of followers like it's a campaign endorsement. Now, some presidents make history through policy. Some presidents make history through groundbreaking diplomacy. This one makes history because he can't read a username correctly, and the internet went nuclear because everyone started asking the same question at once. Wait, did the president just endorse impeaching himself? Yeah, he did. Now, the White House will absolutely pretend this is no big deal. They'll say it was an accident, a slip, fat thumbs, whatever. But here's the part that matters. Presidents don't get to have oopsies. When the president of the United States posts something, that message becomes part of the public record. It becomes a documented expression of presidential communication. And in a political climate that's already obsessed with competency and mental sharpness and leadership stability, this is basically gasoline poured directly on top of the people who already think he's unfit to serve. Because this incident isn't happening in a vacuum. It's happening right when Trump has been blasting out increasingly chaotic messages, accusing political opponents of sedition, bungling televised claims, and doubling down on conspiracy-heavy posts that even his allies have had to walk back. So this isn't just a mistake. This goes straight to the heart of the question voters are already asking. Is the president actually in control of his own messaging anymore? And here's where the stakes get huge for you, the viewer, because this isn't just some political drama. When the president looks unstable, confused, or out of control with his own communications, it affects markets. It affects global confidence, diplomatic relationships, the government's ability to project strength. When global investors see the president amplifying a message calling for his own removal, they don't see whoops, they see chaos. And chaos spooks money. And when money gets spooked, your retirement accounts get shakier. Your interest rates get a little weird. Your job market tightens. And the possibility of political instability grows. People think these stories don't affect them, but this one absolutely does. Now, let's go deeper into why Congress is freaking out about all this, okay? Republicans are already navigating razor-thin political ground going into 2026. And whether you love Trump, hate Trump, or simply enjoy watching the political circus from a safe, emotional distance like me, every strategist in Washington knows one thing. Optics matter. And this was a nuclear-level optics disaster because it throws his own party into defensive mode. They now have to pretend that a president promoting his own impeachment is somehow totally normal. That's like a quarterback accidentally throwing a touchdown pass to the opposing team and then saying, no, I was running a special play only that I understand. Sure you were, buddy. Sure you were. But the political danger for Trump is bigger than this huge embarrassment, okay? It's precedent setting. Because once a president publicly amplifies a message calling for his own removal, it gives congressional opponents, both Democrats and anti-Trump Republicans, the rhetorical ammunition of a lifetime. They can now say, look, he himself shared it. And that matters during hearings, in press briefings, in media cycles, in political negotiations. It becomes a permanent part of the political landscape. You can't put that genie back in its bottle. It's like he handed impeachment advocates a loaded slingshot and said, here, have fun, and don't forget, impeachment talks affects markets, donors, and, general voter confidence. Now, let's talk about the constitutional weirdness here. A president endorsing a message calling for their own impeachment sets up a bizarre legal and political question. If impeachment is the will of Congress, but the president effectively endorsed the idea publicly, does that change the political burden of proof? No legal scholar will tell you it makes impeachment more likely, but plenty of political strategists will tell you this kind of public confusion from a sitting president absolutely weakens their position. It's not about legal triggers, it's about narrative power. Trump accidentally handed his opponents the strongest narrative they could ever ask for. Even he thinks he should be impeached. And then there's the international angle, right? You think China and Russia and Putin don't notice when a sitting US president reposts a call to remove himself? Of course they do. Meanwhile, America's allies, who already feel like Washington has been playing political Jenga for 8 years now, have to interpret this as another sign that the US presidency might be drifting into instability territory. When the world's biggest superpower looks shaky, global tensions rise, markets ripple, and advertisers, they get bolder. So yeah, this matters to you. This isn't internet drama. This is geopolitics disguised as a screenshot. Finally, let's talk about the personal take side of this, because whether you love Trump or can't stand him, the fact that this happened at all is a flashing red warning sign about the state of the White House messaging discipline. In any normal administration, Democrat, Republican, Independent, whatever, a social media mistake this bad would trigger 3 emergency meetings, 4 resignations, and a week-long investigation. In this administration, it's just Tuesday. And that's the story. That's why it's trending. And that's why everybody is totally freaking out. The president accidentally endorsed impeaching himself. You can't script that. You can't spin that. You can't wave that off with a, well, he's spicy. This is a moment people will reference for years, a signal flare that the presidency might be slipping into a place where even the most basic parts of leadership, clarity, focus, message discipline, are wobbling. And whether this becomes a meme or the spark of something bigger depends on what he does next. But one thing is certainly for sure. The rest of the world just saw the US president call for his own removal, and they're not going to forget it. And that's why this story isn't just trending. It's a 5-alarm siren for the political future of this country. Stay tuned, because this one isn't going away anytime soon.